On this episode of Mythbusters, Adam and Jamie are taking silver screen sounds to task.
We want to see whether these things make the same sounds in real life that they do in the movies. Bye-bye!
Yes, are those audio cliches fact or fake?
Oh.
Meanwhile, Carrie, Grant and Tori cast off for science.
This is below your own sail with a full-size boat.
They're testing the physics thought experiment. Is it possible to blow your own sail?
Come on!
Chaos, mayhem, and high sea high jinks ahoy.
I feel like there might be just a little element of danger here.
Who are the Mythbusters? Adam Savage.
I'm done with science for today.
And Jamie Heineman.
Way to go there, buddy.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Joining them, Grant Imahara.
That's why we can never have anything nice.
Tori Bellecci.
I'll try not to let you guys down.
And Carrie Byron.
Oh! You know, I went to college for this.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. First up, an audio myth that Adam's having nightmares over.
Oh, look at that. Somebody's left me a present. Beautiful.
Looks like I'm gonna have to take care of this myself. Bye-bye.
What was that?
That was our next story.
Really? Because it looked to me like you were trying to kill me.
No. It sounds like I'm trying to kill you.
I don't get it.
Well, our next story is about whether the sounds you hear in the movies are accurate to the real world.
Sounds cool.
Movie makers manipulate, massage, and enrich every single sound effect we hear. But do these audio cliches bear any resemblance to the real thing? To find out, Adam and Jamie have got their ears to the sound.
All right, so if memory serves, the classic movie sound effects we'll be working with are things like the punch, the silencers, and explosions.
And any others we run into along the way.
All right, and the testing seems to be pretty straightforward. We punch something, we use a silencer, we blow something up, and we record those sounds and compare them to what the movies generally represent as those sounds.
Let's start with the punch.
Okay.
Yes, Porky here is stepping up to take one for the team. Again.
Why am I using a pig? I've slapped Adam and he was fine, but if I really hauled off and punched him, he'd probably get hurt, and we can't have that. So we've traditionally used pigs for this kind of thing, like in Cannonball Chaos.
What?
And also, forensic pathologists regularly use pigs as the closest available human analog.
Now, clearly, Jamie and I are about to start punching this pig, but in order to compare the sound of our punches to your classic movie punch, we're going to record it. With this, a directional microphone pointed exactly at the point of impact. We will hit the pig, record it on this mic, and we will store it on this computer where we will compare it to this, the sound of a classic movie punch.
Right, Jamie, I want you to imagine that you've come home and this pig has emptied your bank account. Go at him. Oh, nice. Did that hurt?
A little bit. I hit my fingers a little wrong.
Considering his hand was unprotected, Jamie gave it all he could, but the sound wasn't exactly silver screen superhero.
Piece of me? We're gonna get hurt if we keep doing it like this.
To avoid hurting themselves, they have to pull their punches, limiting the power they can put into them. And the audio recording reflects their less than action hero efforts.
All right, and for comparison, here's the movie punch. There's no equivalency at all.
Which leaves the myth reeling, but not yet knocked out.
Yet another use for duct tape.
Next, they're going to use a little more action movie oomph to try and get a more Hollywood-style sound.
Ow.
And with this makeshift boxing glove, Jamie will be able to throw a full-blooded right hook. But despite pounding the pork appreciably harder, it's clear the audio still doesn't match up.
It's still nowhere near.
No.
But they're not done yet. Adam's dreaming up a right hook delivery system that's guaranteed to pack an action movie punch. Next up, Carrie, Grant and Tori set sail for a physics thought experiment.
All right, so what's the next myth?
No, this is all wrong. Somehow this seems totally inappropriate to tell you about this myth. I can fix this. Come here, follow me.
This seems like a bad idea.
You know what happened the last time?
Yep, and I still can't sit down.
Okay, now this is what I'm talking about.
So can you tell us what we're doing out here?
Yeah, what are we testing the myth that if we take Grant sailing, he's gonna throw up?
No, but we're actually doing a sailing myth, so I figured why would we be in the blueprint room when we could be out here?
All right, well, can we get on with it? Because this is a ticking time bomb.
Okay, well, our next myth is actually this year's plane on a conveyor belt. It's called Blow Your Own Sail.
That's the one that if you have a windless day, if you take a giant fan and blow it into your sail, you can actually start sailing.
Exactly, but fans say it might not work.
Right, because of Newtonian physics.
All right, well, I think we need to get to the bottom of this one.
Or get sick trying.
Speak for yourself, landlubber.
It's a classic physics fable. Becalmed in the doldrums, our hero pulls out a fan, whips up a wind, and hey presto, she's blowing her own sail. But do Newton's laws really mean this myth is dead in the water? What happens if you take this physics thought experiment into the real world?
Okay, it's not because I'm prone to getting seasick, but shouldn't we go back to the shop and do some small-scale experiment?
What? Why? I mean, we're here now. Let's just put a fan on here and go for it.
Well, the problem is it's not a windless day. We won't know if we're sailing because of our fan or because of a change in the wind.
He's got a good point. All right, why don't we go back to the shop, do some small-scale tests, get some miniature sailboats and some miniature fans and find out exactly what's happening before we go full scale.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Grant is looking a little green, isn't he?
So, to avoid Grant's nautical nausea, it's back to terra firma, where the goal is getting to grips with the underlying science of the story.
So this myth is essentially about Newton's laws, and specifically his first law, which states that an object will remain in its current state of motion unless acted upon by an external force. Now in our case, the object is the boat. Current state of motion, at rest. The external force, the wind, acts upon the boat and causes it to move along. Now, in the case of our sailor, if this person were able to generate the wind while sitting on the boat, it's no longer an external force, they're internal, in the same frame of reference. So when they blow on it, theoretically, the boat won't move.
And worryingly for the myth, it's not just Newton's first law making movement unlikely.
So there is another Newtonian principle, that is the third law of motion, which says that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So therefore, if the fan is blowing wind into the sail, it's also pushing the fan backwards. If this is true, these two forces are going to cancel each other out, and this boat's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to stall.
So, with two of Newton's laws lining up to sink this sea-going saga, the team prepares for a proof of concept test. One that will put the scientific theory into practice, and while Carrie makes a raft on wheels, Tori stays high and dry on a fake blue sea because although this myth is all about boats, there's no need to get wet yet.
Now, obviously, we could test it on water, but water poses a couple of problems. One, it takes a lot of force to get the boat to move through the water. 0.44 pounds to be exact. Plus, getting the boat to move straight in the water is going to be another problem we have to overcome. But I have a solution for both of those. Instead of using the boat and water, we're going to use this cart with wheels on this flat piece of acrylic. That way, the cart will go straight and we're going to reduce the amount of friction. It only takes 0.24 pounds of force to move this car. This is going to be perfect.
Dadford